2. How we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of YoHoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Friday, February 20th, and we have a 9-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and let you know the sides I like, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. Recapping yesterday, we came out the gate swinging 8-2 on the 10-game card. I thought we might have a chance at the sweep since I cashed the first 7 games in a row, but I did have Jaylen Brown going over his points and the Kings plus 8.5. The only reason Jaylen didn't cash was the Celtics blew the Warriors out, so really we were this close to a perfect day. I'm now 60-37 on every game played in February, and mind you, that's almost always against the spread, so we're getting close to even money. 9 games on the board today, let's knock it out the park as we do so well. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers in Charlotte taking on Charlotte Hornets. Cavs are minus 230 on the money line, and the total is 230.5. Both teams come into this one on the second leg of back-to-backs. The Cavs fly in from Cleveland, while the Hornets remain at home. Both teams got the cover last night, but I will say the Hornets did look a little short-handed with Miles Bridges and Diabate on the bench. The Rockets only put up 105 points against them, and that was enough for a 4-point win. Cleveland hasn't lost a game since James Harden joined the team. Honestly, I see them keeping the momentum rolling. They aired out the Nets last night, so all of their guys played well under 30 minutes. We should see another dominant win tonight. I'm taking the Cavs laying to 6.5 as my first selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Indiana Pacers in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. This game's a pick'em. You can find minus 110 on either side, and the total is 230. We saw this exact same matchup last night, and the Wizards won that one 112-105. The Pacers come into this one similarly banged up. While I would say this game's more of a coin flip, I'd still lean to the Wizards just based off momentum and the fact that they're at home. This is also the battle for last place in the East. Probably a pass for me altogether, but I'll lean to the Wizards on the money line as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Utah Jazz in Memphis taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are minus 130 on the money line, and the total is 236. I really liked how the Jazz were looking with Triple J on the floor, so it's definitely tragic that he's been ruled out for the season. Utah also has Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George ruled out, but I'd still say they're the healthier team compared to the Grizzlies. At first glance, I wanted to lean towards the Jazz just based off the trades and IR for Memphis, but then I have to keep in mind they played through injury all season and still have a better record outright than the Jazz. Definitely not one I'm rushing to the window with, but I think the Grizzlies are favored at home for a reason. I'm taking Memphis on the money line as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Miami Heat in Atlanta taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Heat are minus 160 on the money line, and the total is 244.5. The Hawks come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Philadelphia back home to Atlanta. They got that outright win against the Sixers last night, which we were on, and I like this matchup at home tonight. Norman Powell is that X factor who could go for 30 and change the momentum of the game, but besides that, this Heat roster doesn't really strike fear in me. Andrew Wiggins, 6'9" Bam at center. In Miami, maybe I could find a way to buy in, but tonight, I see Atlanta keeping the momentum rolling. I'm taking the Hawks plus a 4 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks in Minnesota taking on Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves are minus 750 on the money line, and the total is 240. The Wolves come into this one at full strength, so they should blow out the banged up Mavs, but let's not forget they have a losing record against the spread at home. With this big of a spread, I don't see a real edge one way or another, so rather than taking a side, I'm looking at the total. With Cooper Flag out, I can't see the Mavs scoring a bundle of points, but at the same time, the only way the Wolves usually fail to cover is by not scoring enough points. Their defense is top 10 in the league, and that's usually consistent at home. They average 120 points per game, which is also top 5, but the Mavs only average 114, so that would set us at a 234 expected total. Besides Ant, I don't see enough scoring on the floor. I'm taking the Mavs and Timberwolves under 240 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Milwaukee Bucks in New Orleans taking on New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans are minus 180 on the money line, and the total is 223.5. I'm a little surprised to see the Pelicans as this big of favorites, considering how many injuries they're playing through. Yves Messi and Micah Peavy are both ruled out, then Trey Murphy is listed as doubtful. It's hard for me to know what I'm going to get from Milwaukee with Cam Thomas running the offense, so rather than taking a side, I'm looking at a prop. It's probably pretty square considering the injury report for the Pelicans, but I'm taking Saddiq Bey to go over 19.5 points. We've cashed with him a few times before. He shoots 35% from behind the arc, and he's averaging 17 off the bench. Whenever they need Saddiq to step up, he typically does. Lock it in. In our next matchup, we have the Brooklyn Nets in Oklahoma City taking on Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder minus 1,600 on the money line, and the total is 212.5. The Nets come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Cleveland to Oklahoma City. They got their doors blown off by the Cavs last night, but I will say that allowed most of their guys to play limited minutes. You guys know if the Thunder were at full strength, I'd easily lay the points, but tonight SGA and Jalen Williams are both ruled out. Usually that wouldn't be a problem for me against a bottom tier team like the Nets, but I can't forget the Thunder just lost by 17 against the Bucks in their last game, and they went into that one as 14-point favorites. I should mention Michael Porter Jr. has been downgraded to questionable, so I really want to know if he plays, but either way, I think 18 is enough for at least a backdoor cover. I'm taking the Nets plus 18 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the LA Clippers in Los Angeles taking on Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are minus 300 on the money line, and the total is 226. The Clippers come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back. Not much travel, but they do go from Intuit to crypto. They got the outright win against the Nuggets last night, so they're now 5-0 since trading James Harden. I don't want to fade that kind of momentum, so rather than taking a side, I'm looking at a prop. I'm taking Luka Doncic to go over 29.5 points. It is his first game back, so I can't even guarantee we'll get 30 minutes, but at the same time, this is the lowest I've seen his line all season. He's currently averaging 32.8. If the Lakers want a shot at winning this game, they're going to need 30 from him tonight. Lock it in. In our next matchup, we have the Denver Nuggets in Portland taking on Portland Trailblazers. Nuggets are minus 115 on the money line, and the total is 241.5. The Nuggets come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from LA to Portland. They lost it outright against the Clippers last night, which we were on, and it literally came down to the final second, so all of their stars played over 30 minutes. At full strength, I would assume the Nuggets come out swinging tonight, but let's keep in mind the Blazers are 17-12 against the spread in Portland. Donovan Clingan can at least give Joker problems, and past that, I'd say Danny Advia is playing better basketball than Jamal Murray. I also like that Drew Holiday is back in the lineup. While I do see it being another competitive bout, I think Portland comes out on top. I'm taking the Blazers on the money line as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm now 60-37 on every game played in February. Let's get right back in that win column and go for the sweep tonight. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.